I always loved the stars. Even when I was a kid, I could happily just stare at the stars and they always felt more like home than here. It's like this weird kind of feeling that there's something else out there and I know there's something more.
We have this ability to connect with all souls because we're all one. They're just here to tell us that we're all one and that we're basically living in love, or should be living in love.
The message has always been to really understand who you are. Anchor in those energies in your body into this world, and then you can just allow that consciousness to flow out to help everyone else lift.
Galactically, I feel what's happening is they're getting closer and closer and the veil is getting thinner. So we are here to remember who we are, but we're also here to remember that we're human.
You're not finished. You've got a mission to accomplish and you're here to learn to love and to teach people to love themselves.
It made me really think about who we're surrounded by and the absolute unknowingness, but knowingness in it all. So even if we don't know, there's still something that we feel, that there's more than what we realize out there that we can explore.
When you both started to speak the light language, it felt so nurturing to me. And that's something that I've been missing in my life the last couple of months. It's like I feel like I'm under nurtured. It like hit my heart and it was really, really beautiful.
Hello, beautiful souls. It is Sophia from Sacred You. Thank you so much for being here. But before we dive into today's Wisdom Circle, I have a small request from my heart. If our conversations ever resonate with you or support you on your journey, please subscribe to our channel or like this video. It helps us grow Sacred You, welcome more powerful voices into this space, and keep you connected to everything we share. Thank you so much for walking this path with us, and let us begin with today's conversation.
Welcome to this Wisdom Circle hosted by Sacred You, and I am delighted to bring a very different topic into the space today. So today we're talking about Starlight Lineage. I have to remember the exact name. Reconnecting with your galactic family and remembering who you are. So my name is Crestani and I am an intuitive guide, an authority guide, and I also am a writer and speaker on human potential and conscious leadership. But I am also now one of the co-hosts of a brand new podcast called Connections from Beyond, where we actually talk about these different realms that we actually have access to as humans if we choose to remember and choose to be open to that actual connection. So I'm really delighted to have a beautiful panel of women today, and I'm going to go around and ask them to introduce themselves and share who they are, and also why you were pulled to this topic, because it's a very niche kind of area, but at the same time, it's this conversation that's brewing and it's getting stronger and stronger. And I know more people are becoming more accepting. So I'm going to go around in the order you are on my screen. So Elizabeth, if you would love to introduce yourself and share why you brought here today.
I would be absolutely honored. It's wonderful to be in a room and I can feel the energy. And I'm sure at some point we will all break out into light language or something because I can feel it just rising. I'm Elizabeth Gifford Maffei. I am in the Orlando, Florida area in the US. And I am an intuitive life coach, emotion code practitioner, Reiki master. I work with the angelic realm as well. And I work mostly with removing trapped emotions and helping people through emotional trauma without them having to relive the past. And I'm very connected to the Pleiades. I have past lives in Egypt as a high priestess and healers. So I'm very called, and I have also channeled a galactic council of 12 who many years ago gave me insight into things that I had no clue about. And now that I go back and read it, I thought, wow, they were giving us some warnings, but also a lot of positive things. So I love talking about the stars. Very often feel like I just want to go home, but home here for now, and so happy to be here. Thank you, Catherine.
Beautiful. And for anyone who is new to galactic energy, you're going to hear us thrown around words like Sirius, Pleiades, Arcturian, Andromedan, just roll with it and trust what feels resonant for your soul. So just a caveat for anyone new to this world. Jen, would you like to introduce yourself and also why you were pulled to this beautiful circle?
Yeah, sure. My name is Jen Smith. I'm from the USA, from Illinois, the Midwest section of the US. I am an energy healer, Reiki master, and also a Vesa quantum healer. I have natural energy healing is where I do that work, mindset coaching, work a lot with Egyptian healing rods, very drawn to the Syrians. So that's where all of my experiences have been. I'm also taking this work now because I've been doing this probably about 6 years, taking this back out into more of a conscious business type application. So I work with my family here in the US, and we have a business which is a record store. But I was drawn here. Actually, Alfie reached out to me and asked if I would join, and I said absolutely. So I am so honored to be here with all of you. The energy is amazing, and I can't wait to see where this conversation leads.
And I feel like when everyone's introducing themselves, your galactic team just keeps arriving and arriving. I feel like we have to acknowledge the extras in the space that we can't see with our 3D eyes. But thank you, Jen. And Katerina, would you like to introduce yourself and just share what pulled you here today?
Yes, I'm Katerina from South Australia. I've been galactically connected since the age of 7, so that's 53 years now. I'm a Lyran. I know where I come from. I've been connected to the Syrian High Council for a very long time, and they come and speak to me and they tell me what they feel about Earth and how they want me to be of service to humanity. I'm a life coach, ascension master. I also have the crystal light bed. My business is called Be Your True Self. So I help people to understand their energy and how to use their energy to live in an everyday life so they can raise above their problems, or even connect you to your galactic team. I'm also connected to the angelic world, and I'm a trance medium for Archangel Gabriel. So he likes to have conversations with everybody and gives his point of view as to what's going on in the world. Yes, galactically, I feel what's happening is they're getting closer and the veil is getting thinner. So we are here to remember who we are, but we're also here to remember that we're human and that we're using that part of us to let the world know that we're in a good place. So the reason why I'm here, I was asked to join, and I'm happy to be here and meet everybody. It's been a long time since I've done this. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Katerina. And I love that you're bringing the Lyran energy with you. It's amazing. I just interviewed someone who was Lyran royalty in another life. So really beautiful. The Lyrans keep showing up in my life at the moment.
Yes, I am from royal blood. So.
Yeah. Maybe I need to connect you to, maybe this is the synchronicities of life, right? And how we get pulled. And I so agree with you, Katerina, that the veils are thinning, that people are more open to these conversations. I know in the US there's been all this disclosure talk and that sort of thing. There's talk of first sighting, not first contact, coming in this month. There's lots of, I feel like the energy and the timing of this circle is so perfect. So welcome, Katerina, and a big welcome to beautiful Anick. Do you want to introduce yourself and share why you were pulled here today?
Thank you so much. So lovely to be in this circle. It's so fun to connect with the other realms. Yeah, I'm here because I'm passionate about metaphysics and spirituality. And I have a really strong connection with spirits since I'm a kid. So my name is Anick Patry. I'm a French Canadian based in Australia, and I am an holistic mentor. I am the founder of the Voice Alchemist Academy. I am TEDx speaker, an international best-selling author, and a retreat facilitator. And I belong to Sacred You. I love the extraordinary healers and coaches in this platform, and I'm open to the magic today. I really have faith that I've been invited here, and I have faith that I belong and my voice needs to be heard, and I'm going to also receive as much as I give, and I'm really excited for this co-creation on this panel. So thank you so much, Catherine, for having me here, and let's play.
Yeah. Anick, we need your playful energy today. These beings are playful if you let them be. So why not? Why not? Well, thank you so much. And a big welcome to beautiful Joe. Would you like to introduce yourself and just share what pulled you here today?
Hello, everyone. Joe Irwin here. I don't know why I'm here. To be honest,
Because
I'm
I'm
here.
here. No, just
I think probably be no. I was like, "Oh, how did I end up on this actual call?" But there's a reason, and I think the main one is I'm really curious. I'm really open to learning more. I connected to planetary forces in the 90s, but my journey's been more connected to spirit, my ancestors, and spirit and archangels. And I've never really delved into the galactic forces as such. So I feel like I'm here to learn a lot from you ladies. So if I don't contribute too much, then you know that I'm just absorbing all this knowledge and information. And maybe something will drop in for me whilst I'm here. But I am an empowerment coach, an emotional empowerment coach for women and one man. I always say one man. And I have collaborated in a few series of books, but also I've created a couple of programs, Empower You and Finding You programs. But my modalities I'm trained in is NLP, hypnosis, results coaching, regression therapy. I have done a lot of past life regression in the 90s as well. So it's all coming back now. So health and wellness has been my thing since for 4 decades now. So yeah, I'm just really curious in spirituality and anything that we're going to be exploring here. So yeah, my expertise is guiding women home to themselves and intuitively listening to guides and angels to help them come back to themselves. So that's me.
it's beautiful because the angels are from another realm anyway, right? I think we forget this. We just say we talk about galactics, but there are so many other realms. And whilst we're focusing on the starlight and the star energies today, the angels are their own star energy in themselves, right? I'm so grateful you're here, Joe, because I know you'll bring your healthy curiosity, and questions are always welcome, right? Especially when it comes to working with these energies. So thank you. And Lisa, would you love to introduce yourself and also what brought you here today?
Sure. So my name is Lisa Doucette, and I'm based in Nova Scotia in Canada. I have been doing these wisdom circles now for a couple of months, and I love them. And admittedly, this is one that I avoided because I don't think I'm an expert by any stretch of the imagination. Not that I'm an expert in any of the other subjects, but this is really low on my knowledge realm. But I was asked to join, and like Joe, I'm gonna follow that and follow that lead. And I will say that I'm absolutely fascinated by this subject, and I haven't connected to the galactic realm myself. At least I don't think I have, but I have connected to other realms, like you said, the angelic realm, but also the elemental realm. I'm a big fan of the Fae. But I have a mentor here in Canada, Sean Leonard. I'm not sure if anybody's heard of him, but he's an indigenous medium, and he connects to the galactic realm quite a bit. And I find it all just completely fascinating. So I'm really looking forward to today's conversation and learning and hoping that I can contribute what I can. As for me, I dabble in energy all the time. I'm a Reiki master and teacher. Recently was certified in animal Reiki. I'm also a death doula and intuitive. I like to provide a lot of guidance through oracle card readings. And like Joanne, I feel like I'm kind of echoing what she's saying in her life, but it seems like we have similar trajectories. I help women find their way back to themselves. So that's really important to me. I got lost and it took me a long time to come home. So I'm helping other women along that path as well. So thanks for having me tonight.
Thanks, Lisa. I'm so honored that all of you are here in whatever capacity you choose to show up. I don't mind. But I know for me, connecting with the galactics, I'm that person that if someone mentions something and I'm curious about it, I have to go learn how to do it, or I have to go jump in and figure it out. So I remember I always loved the stars. Even when I was a kid, I could happily just stare at the stars, and they always felt more like home than here. A bit like what Elizabeth shared, that we have to remember, and a few other people, that we're in human form currently, and we just have to remember that we're here. But at the same time, you know that this isn't where your home is. It's like this weird kind of feeling that there's something else out there, and I know there's something more. So when my spiritual mentor at the time mentioned that, she's, oh, you can go connect with the Galactic Federation, right? People do that. I'm like, can I do that? So of course, then that opened that kind of door, and I did. I started connecting with the Galactic Federation, and then it got bigger and bigger to the point now I just trust where I go. I had a client the other week, and they sent me to the Galactic Federation, and then the Fae showed up as well. And then I got sent to the Arcturian Council. Then I got sent to the Andromedan Council, and then I got sent to the High 12 Council. And I'm like, I don't know where I'm going. I'm just trusting wherever I'm being led at this moment. And I had no idea that all these places or councils existed. I did, but I hadn't tuned into them until you're ready. And I feel that's the biggest thing with galactic energy. When you're ready and you're open, and they know that you're ready and ready to accept, then they'll come forward in your life. And there's this term of star seeds that gets thrown around. And I was just talking about it with my co-host the other day. And so star seeds is, your soul wasn't originally from here, from Earth. So there's earth seeds where people are incarnating on Earth for the first time, but there's these star seeds as well. And for me, I've spent many lifetimes not on this planet, many, I feel, but I've also spent many on here because I know that there's something bigger I'm meant to be doing. And when I was putting together this topic, it was just something at the start of the year. My guide said, you need to learn more about galactics. So of course, then I get thrown with this person and create a whole podcast about it in other realms. But at the same time, I felt I had to honor that by creating this space today. So for me, the first kind of initiation I had was through the Galactic Federation, and it was walking onto a deck of Star Trek. That is what it was like. Clearly, Star Trek and Star Wars, for anyone curious, they are people's memories of events that took place. And then if you watch these things and you go, this feels familiar, that is why. It's because there's a remembrance that we were part of something else, or that we were part of something bigger. And I wanted to open it up and just share, what was your kind of first interactions, or how did you get pulled in to this space of working with these energies? Katerina, you put your hand up, go for it.
I don't know, how do you want to do this? Okay, so how did I get connected? I was in my counseling session, and my counselor, I started to say, wow, look, there's somebody here. I don't know who it is. So she was encouraging me to continue with the connection. And then I found myself walking down this aisle of metal down into a spaceship of sorts. And the guide was next to me. So he was guiding me down the metal lane. And as I was walking down there, everybody was doing this to me, like nodding and all that type of stuff. And I'm going, wow, what's all this about? So anyway, he took me down to the end of it, and it was just like a metal wall. And he said to me, just put your hand on it, on the side here. So I put my hand on it, and the door came open, and there's this huge room of panels and beings sitting there. It was like Star Trek-y stuff, right? A huge window, and then on the other side of the window was this just space, just the universe. So I'm walking in there, and suddenly they all just stood up, and someone says captain in the hall, that sort of thing. And then I went, what? So that's how I was introduced. And then I looked down on the panel, and there's all the buttons and everything. And my guide at the time says, okay, just breathe and remember. And the next thing I knew, I just knew how to start the engine. I just put my hand on something, and the engine roared. And so I've been on this journey where I was told how I'm connected and everything. And like anything, you got to sit there and go, wow, really? Am I not going crazy? Am I really real? That sort of thing, because you have to go through that human process, right? And so I know a lot about my galactic connection, and I know a lot about what I get involved with, and that's the journey, right? So when you find a galactic guide, and my galactic guide, it was the light of Orion, and we had a life together on the Orion planet before it got blown up. And so he came back to help me to remember, and we went on missions during the night. Right. Yeah. So it's all about remembering so it's all about going into that space to find out what kind of skills you have to activate so you can help humanity. Right. That's what it's about, how to help the human being understand how they fit in the world. Right. I was part of the secret space program. I do interdimensional missions like my mission is to unravel the cabal system. But as far as guides and that, I found that they came to me when I was learning how to understand my own energy, because there's one particular guide and he's an Andromeda, he's like a police. We all have a galactic guide who's like the police, and they're assigned to us to ensure that we're safe.
Yeah.
It's like they stand between me and the universe, right? So I know who he is and everything, and he's 9 foot tall, and he's just beautiful and very caring. And yeah, so he's come in, and then we go on missions. So I'm like a mission person, so that's what I do. And anyway, your galactic team is really here to help you to understand how to raise your frequency so you can help another human being understand that they matter in this world, right? Because that's what we came to do, is to be human. But the galactic side of it is exciting, right? I can do remote viewing. I've been on other planets, taking people on other planets. But I'm a light language specialist. So since 2004, I speak light language. That's how I communicate with the universe, with the light language. So that, like, I've learned to pick up the codes within my own energy field, your soul language, as I call it. And I teach people how to use light language to protect themselves, because I've also been introduced to the darker side of things because of my missions, and we have to be very careful.
Agreed. And I love that you brought up a few things there, Katerina. Thank you so much for sharing so much of your journey.
Thank you for letting me talk, because I can talk for hours.
I guess the first thing is, we have to be conscious that, like with anything, there is light energy and darker energy, and to surround yourself with the right protection is important as well. We did another panel on this earlier, but I call them bridge guardians. So it's almost like they're guarding the bridge between whatever your connection is. So that's how they show up for me. And I also love that you brought up light language. Light language is this term, but it actually has different dialects. And so different people have different light language, and it doesn't mean it's any less or any more. It just depends what energy needs to come through you. And the other point that I feel so beautiful that you brought up is remembering the galactic energy helps you remember your purpose and why you're here and what your bigger thing is, right? Because I know for me, I was doing this meditation through this book I was reading, and it came up saying that it was like, oh, who are you working with these councils or whatever? And it turned out I was a galactic translator. So what I actually did was translate people's energy and culture so that we could create these kind of win-win-win situations, which the irony of that is that I always say, one of my gifts is I can talk to anybody about anything. So this is why I can host podcasts, and I can just step into any conversation and resonate with that person. But also made me laugh because my background is a speech language pathologist, where I was teaching people to communicate. So this is the full circle of why we get drawn and why we end up with who we're meant to be. So thank you for bringing that up, Katerina, because it is true. This is part of our journey. If you choose to expand into these energies, they can teach you so much, and they can also allow you to remember so much as well. I don't know who else wanted to share before, if it was Elizabeth or Jen, I'm not sure. Elizabeth, yes.
Oh, Katerina, thank you for sharing that. And I don't know if you saw that when you spoke light language, it hit me and I shook.
Did it?
It just enveloped me. So that was amazing. Thank you so much. For me, many years ago, I was just very curious, and maybe this will also resonate with Joanne, is that I think everyone here gets very curious and loves to learn and do new things and are called to do new things. So I just sat down one day many years ago and I said, I've never done automatic writing. Let me try that for fun, right? And I just sat and I literally closed my eyes and I just started writing, and I wasn't even hearing anything, just wrote down And when I opened my eyes and I read what I could read, it led me to something that was in ancient Egypt, the green tablets, the emerald tablets, which I didn't even know existed. And because I'm a researcher as well, I had to go down that rabbit hole and research. And I thought, okay, this is interesting. So the next day I sat down, I started to write again. And information was coming so quickly that by the third day I couldn't write anymore. I just started to record with no intention other than just to speak whatever was coming through me. And the first thing that came through was a galactic council. And if I may, I'd like to share that very first one that they shared with me.
Please.
They said, "At the arms of humanity lies a gift. Watch carefully for signs of Zion, Orion, and Melechut." I had no idea what that was. I just phonetically spelled it out. It is a thing, right? "Be purposeful in your efforts to reach ascension. It is our desire that you speak through the ages of wisdom on your journey of truth. Cup the hands of time for the world, the wisdom you seek. Create as you are the creator. Biha asiskei sevma kora." And they named themselves the knowing, and then they said, transmission out. After that very first time, I thought, okay, that was very Star Trekky again, right? We've been talking about that. Transmission out. And subsequently, for several years, I would sit with them and they would get long. I would sit, that took maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and then it would be an hour or so at a time. I would show up and they would just share information. But the beautiful thing about it was that everything they said, even if there were warnings, which they did give, everything was said with such incredible love. You could just feel not only your physical body, but your entire being just filled with this amazing love that you could do nothing wrong, and that it was just an amazing feeling. So to be able to receive that and then turn that around and to be able to share that with others, share that love, that unconditional love, is just I received such an amazing gift from them. So that was the beginning of my journey. Thanks for letting me share.
How beautiful.
Automatic writing is really cool, Elizabeth. That's how I started. That's how they taught me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a great skill for everyone to just try at least once. And like I said, then by the third day, it was coming so fast and so much that I couldn't write it down. So I just started recording it, and then I would transcribe it, and not knowing what I was saying. And then when I went back to read it, I was like, whoa. It's just, we have this ability to connect with all souls because we're all one. So I think that's one of the messages that the Galactic, whom I know are showing up now and revealing themselves to others who maybe haven't had that connection before. They're just here to tell us that we're all one, and that we're basically living in love, or should be living in love.
I think that it's really important that they help us with our self-worth, because when the time comes that they do appear in your backyard, I'm saying that the human body doesn't have a huge meltdown. So because the human body has to get used to the idea of seeing something and feeling something different. So I love how they taught me how not to be afraid of something different. So I think that's important. And yes, it's a beautiful experience.
And I feel too that you have to attune to the frequencies as well. And that's something that you have to be open and willing to allow it to come through. And the other interesting thing is that there's more and more galactic species coming forward. I know my co-host and I, John, we've channeled 2 new galactic species coming through, because as Earth's energy and frequency rises, they feel they can approach us more. Although one of them said that we were crazy. They're like, we're not ready to come there yet. You guys are crazy. That's what they said. And we just laughed, because we probably do look crazy on the other side. I even remember seeing this meme pop up on Instagram, and then there was these aliens and like, what are you watching? Earth reality TV. That's what it was called. And it was just watching us on Earth. And we have to have that humor in that. And that is, you never feel less than, I think, is the other important thing to bring up too, is you never, there's always this idea of equal. Everyone's equal. Even everyone here who channels angels or works with spirit, you never feel less than. And if you are working with an energy that makes you feel less than, question that, because it's probably not aligned and it's not for you. So this is something beautiful as well. Did anyone else want to share any experiences they've had? Even, I know I've talked to people who watched UFOs.
I would say one of my first experiences, I was really curious about energy healing and about consciousness and about ascension and expansion. I studied energy healing Reiki. That worked well for me because it was a structured way of doing things, and that's how we here on this planet, we're very structured. That's what we're taught, but then you just have to let go and allow to actually feel the energies. So I was on that path of learning, a path of ascension as well. And the first time that I met the Galactics, the Syrians, it was a very gentle, very peaceful, and it was almost as if they were training me to get through some of the fear around the unknown. So it was, they're beautiful, and taking me through this winding cloud. You can come with us if you want, but you don't have to, right? It's your choice. So there was a lot of training just to get through fear in the beginning, because you don't know what you don't know, even if you're curious about it. But I loved that approach, and it was, like I said, so gentle, so peaceful. And then after that, there was lots of different things that happened, but that was my very first encounter. And I think that's worth sharing. I hope that helps some people who are curious about the expanded consciousness that we can get to.
That's so beautiful. Thank you, Jen. And yeah, the Syrians do have this beautiful magic. And they also, if anyone's, what are we talking about, Syrians? If you've heard about mystery schools that were on Earth, Syrians brought them here. They actually have multiple schools you can go learn from, and you can actually choose to tune into their energy too, which is really cool. And like you said, they just allow you to accept yourself and accept where you're at and step through those different things. I know when I started channeling more, I would always have a starseed show up, and her name was Delilah, and she's a Pleiadian, and she would show up, and she'd always show up with a message about water. So I knew, I got to a point whenever she showed up and someone's reading, I'm like, do you drink much water? They're like, no. And then she taught me about the idea of living water, because the water that comes out of our tap has been put chemicals through it and everything, and actually kills the energy of the water. And water is this beautiful energy. And so she brought through all this knowledge about water and how to connect with water. And she stopped drinking your tap water unless it's been super filtered, where everything's been taken out. And I was like, oh, yep, I already was on that. They're like, I know, but we're just emphasizing it. Sometimes they'll come in with a specific message or a specific thing they need to share. And that just came through with me connecting with a client's spirit team, and they just came in. So sometimes if you're not ready for them to see them yet as well, they might have a hood on, or they might feel like you can read their energy and feel they're okay, but you might not specifically know who they are yet. So for Anick, Joanna, and Lisa, I bet you they're already showing up. You just don't know who they are yet. Anick,
Yeah, my first experience with spirits, I was a child. I could see dead people when I was a kid. Literally, I had a best friend that no one could see. I was the only one who could see. I was talking to my best friend 24/7. I was with my best friend always. So my parents thought, oh, maybe she's a little bit cuckoo. But for me, it was like, that was my protector, my guardian angel, my best friend. And I was in relationship with that guy, with that angel, until teenage time. Teenage time, I completely put everything out the door, and sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And I completely shut down from my psychic gift. And I was really wearing my human suit then. And later on in life, it came back. I actually had a near-death experience in 2017. I've written the story in a book, a visionary and incredible story, like mind-blowing. But I connected in that moment where I left my body because the pain was unbearable. I connected with Mother Mary. I've always been connected with Mother Mary. Yeah, she looked at me, she held me in her arms and she said, "You're not finished. You've got a mission to accomplish and you're here to learn to love and to teach people to love themselves, to teach people to love their own heart, to know, to remember who they are and to love themselves, to be kind to themselves." And so I said, "Oh, really?" I was really happy. Really, I came back. I was at hospital. I had tubes everywhere. Oh my gosh. Anyways, but there was another really big reminder. I've always prayed. I've always been, as a kid, I loved going to church, not for religion, but for this connection to spirit, to something bigger than me, to this feeling, this kind of blissful, angelic, peaceful energy. And I suspect that I'm an Atlantis person because I love water. I could live in water. I breathe in water. Water, I absolutely love and adore water since I'm a child. We had a little pool. I grew up in Canada. We had a little pool in summer. I was spending hours and hours doing flip-flop and synchronized dance in water. And then I discovered the ocean in Miami, Florida. When my dad took us there when I was 7, I fell in love with the ocean. And I said, "Listen, when I'll be an adult, I'll be living on the beach." And that's what I'm doing. I live in Australia. That was my dream. And the water for me, it's like it's home when I'm in the water. And I'd love to share a little piece of light language because it's also something that came to me years ago doing improvisation. I was doing acting improvisation and I started they call it gibberish, blah, 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 blah. And then I played with it further and then I discovered, gee, I'm actually channeling something really powerful here. So I'd love to share a message with you. Let's see what's coming through. I mean, على بحنا هيدا بلحنا بلحنا شمهنا أنا يلا بلحنا كنا هلا هي هنا هنجا هيا بدويرهن هيا. You are safe, you are loved, you are always guided and supported.
Now I'm going to respond, Anick. Hatusau te hamna shaina, hauma la ora te hamna. Hutusha la ora na hamni kena. The salau the pam sia to kutam laria.
I've got shivers on my neck. Woo!
I have happy tears. Just
Yeah, well,
beautiful. Thank you, ladies.
So beautiful. I've got shivers.
it is, isn't it? It's
And
natural.
we're both wearing blue, so it's the throat chakra, right? It's all the blue, the water, the throat, the communication.
Well, yeah, let me tell you something. The light language has dragon's breath. It can melt metal. So just so you know.
Wow. It's
And
actually
we
funny.
need that too. Sorry, and we need that because we're unraveling the cabal, and cabal is metal. Just so you know.
Interesting. It's
Thank you,
interesting
Katerina.
because I was like, wow, this has reptilian energy through it, but reptilian actually people just will shut down. So I feel I'm going to give a shout out to the reptilians because they're not all bad. I want to emphasize that, but also the highest level of them are dragons. That is where dragons come from, that Draco reptilian kind of thing. But the majority of them are very much want to demand and conquer and take over things. But dragons are the highest level of them. So it doesn't surprise me that's that dragon's breath that you were sharing, Katerina, and that energy coming through. But with anyone's curious about this and they start channeling or they start meditating and galactics come forward, make sure you have an energy that you trust, whether it's Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Michael, like the 9-foot being that you were talking about, Katerina, whoever it is, make sure you have someone that you trust to bring in. If you're channeling light language, they kind of can't handle that frequency either, I find. And then it's interesting because different chakras resonate with different light language things. This is something I've been playing with. So it's interesting just how it all comes together and how it comes through. And thank you, Anick. Clearly, there is some beautiful galactic angelic things coming through your voice there. So thank you so much.
Oh, it's challenging, and at the same time, it's really beautiful, and we're very blessed that we have this experience, and we come on a mission to share our voices. That's what I do with the Voice Alchemist. It's like we're here to share our voices, our singing voice, our light language, our powerful message, our communication. It's gold. It's worth billions. It's so important. So it's really good to come together and fill our cups and share this message that actually, yeah, there's something out there that is really, we're loved, we're safe, we're protected, is really a really important message to remember and to anchor in our bones that we truly are.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Anick.
That's where the inner work comes in.
100%.
As humans, right? We've got to do the inner work and unravel what I call the crappiness of life. Because the galactic guides, because we're talking about the galactics, my guide, Zorian, he's the Andromeda, he took 2 years to adjust his energy so he can talk to me. So they do that, right? They have to adjust themselves to be able to talk to us, because the energy codes that they speak comes into our energy field, and the last thing they want us to do is have a physical meltdown because we don't understand the energy. And let me tell you, the physical body will have a meltdown if you're not ready. Diarrhea, heart palpitations, you just feel like crawling into a little ball. But other than that, you just got to be willing to listen to your own heart, right? Your own heart will bring in the energy that will help you feel worthy enough to share your gifts.
Yeah, beautiful reminder.
Yeah, I've also experienced with guides that if they're not keeping up with you, that sometimes you're switched off to another guide as well. So, because as you continue to ascend, to increase your energy, then you tap into the more and more. And I've been told it's time to change your guides. So for me, the message has always been really understand who you are, anchor in those energies in your body into this world. And then you can just allow that consciousness to flow out to help everyone else lift. That's what I've been getting. Also, I see visions of UFOs actually coming to Earth. And back in 22, whenever I was meditating, I got a rainbow transmission. And on that very day, I took a video with a UFO coming through, but it was very quick. It was very quick. It was like it came into the dimension and out again. But I think that was shown to me just to keep me on the path. Yeah, this is real. Keep going. And you got something to do here, because sometimes whenever you start down this path and things start happening, you start questioning yourself like, wow, was that real? So I always kept a diary of things that happen. And so, yeah, there's no turning back. You just keep getting more information.
100%. 100%. And Joe, I saw that you were unmuted. Did you want to
Yeah. I remembered why I'm here. Thank you, ladies, for through this whole conversation. It's always fascinated me. And Anick mentioning the Atlantis era. I remember that. In the 90s, connecting there. And Catherine talking about the reptilians. I had a friend who actually had an encounter with one. And when she was like, I've always believed, but I just haven't had the experiences personally. And when she was recalling it, it made me really think about who we're surrounded by and the absolute unknowingness, but knowingness in it all, right? So even if we don't know, there's still something that we feel. And when you did the light language, Anick and Catherine, my gosh, the tears came, my heart opened, remembering that there's more than what we realize out there that we can explore. And I see also the correlation of speaking with spirit, connecting with angels is just like you guys connecting with the galactic beings. And I've just not been quite ready to go there yet, but I've been following a lot of people over the years that have these connections, have these experiences, give information from the galactic world. And I follow Lee Harris religiously. I don't know if, and he's connected with disease. So there's something in me that's, oh my goodness, I'm about to explode, to explore more of that energy and those realms as well. So thank you for helping me remember. I'm just loving these conversations. Thank you.
Thank you, Jo, and thank you for that, putting it in perspective, because even when we find these people that we're following and we're listening to what they're sharing, if we don't immediately reject it, we know there's some truth there, right? So this is where that curiosity you can keep pulling through. And it's really interesting because I'll get shared with sometimes things from what other people say, and straight away I'll be like, nah, don't resonate with that. Sorry, I'm not on board with that. I know there's some really popular channels. I'm like, nah, don't want a bar of that. Actually, interesting, it just doesn't resonate with my energy. And sometimes my friends will send me things. I said, that's not true. I said, that I don't agree with that at all, or that doesn't come in with me. So I feel like using your discernment and trusting what lands and what doesn't is so important with anything that we do with spiritual work. And Lisa, you wanted to share?
Yeah, I was going to say, now I know why I was here too. Like, this whole conversation really resonated with me. And when Katerina and Anick, is it Anick? Sorry, am I pronouncing it right? Anick?
Anick.
Anick, sorry.
Anick, fellow Canadian. Anick.
It's such a beautiful name. But when you both started to speak, the light language, it felt so nurturing to me. And that's something that I've been missing in my life the last couple of months. Is like I feel like I'm under nurtured. So it was just, it hit my heart and it was really beautiful. And thank you for allowing me to sit here. I know I didn't contribute much to it, but now I know that there was a reason why I was here. And I could listen to you guys talk about this for another 2 hours. So I'm sad that we're almost at the end. I need to learn more now. I'm very curious. This is fascinating.
We could probably talk another 2 hours.
We could, but I'm sure we all have to go back to our human lives. But I am happy. I will stay around for a few minutes afterwards, ladies, and I can drop some things that I've read recently, like very recently, that have been very powerful, even light language things and stuff like that. So I'm happy to drop them, and I'll pop them underneath for anyone watching the replay. I'll put these little resources in there, and they're written by beautiful people who I actually have interviewed and know. It's always beautiful when that's how they come into your field, and then that's on that level too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm really grateful for Jo and Lisa and Anick. Anick, like you said, you started a beautiful thing. But this is the point, that when you're open to it and you allow it just to come in and flow, and you see where it goes. And like Jen said, sometimes you do outgrow those that were guiding you. And it doesn't mean that, I know for me, when I connect, I always see a door. That's how I connect with different realms or different things. And then one day I didn't need the doors anymore. I just got taken there. And then part of me is, hang on, am I not doing something right? Or it was just my energy changed, so I could connect in quicker and I could just plug in wherever I needed to or where I was being pulled to. But as we do start to finish up, I feel to invite everyone, whoever feels to, if you could give yourself or another person a piece of advice when it comes to connecting to these energies or being open, what would it be? Trust yourself.
If you have to do the inner work and unravel the crap to learn how to trust, then trust yourself. The intuition never lies. Energy never lies, whether it's dark, light, orange, or pink. It does not lie. So it's all about us feeling. If you don't feel comfortable with something, you have all the right to say, sorry, no, not talking to you. I don't. I have gatekeepers, right? So Catherine, you're talking about doors. I call them gatekeepers. And I've had many of those, because every time you up level, you get a new one. But remember, you're the master of your life. They are here to help you. You are not here to help them. Understand? Yes, that's my advice. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My advice would be similar, to relax and to trust and to have no fear, because you'll be met with really beautiful energies.
100%.
Love that. I'd love to share a little bit of their advice. Set upon the table a place of honor, bringing gold, the golden wisdom of the ages. You are one and thus create a vortex. Remain in this high state, as it will lead you to yet another realm. Let go of all desire, be present to the knowing. Each crystalline string is a new vibration of pure joy and music beyond imagination. Listen, for the time is coming when you will arise, dear ones.
So beautiful. Oh, that really moved me, Elizabeth. Oh, you've got a heart as well in the corner. I see that. Yeah, what I would love to share, what they would love to share through me is allow your heart to soften, to open. Allow your heart. All the answers are inside of your heart. Just allow. Give yourself permission to receive, to receive, to receive.
Joe.
What came through to me when you asked that was simply be present and listen. And it's echoing what was already delivered here by these beautiful women. So thank you. Listening, not just hearing.
100%. Lisa, did you want to share anything?
Yeah, similar thing. And this is something that I was called to share a few minutes ago, but the timing's right now. I think it's important to have some discernment in what's coming through and to make sure that it's not like this was something that took me years to understand, is that when I connect with spirit, it's not a loud booming voice, but it's a very clear message that's muddled with all of the other messages that are flying around my brain at any given moment. So it's important to try to quiet that sensation, like quiet the noise, and really trust into what you're picking up and make sure that it's, I don't know how to say it, like just discernment in the messages that you receive, but in a good way. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're
Resonate.
channeling something and it's, and you're questioning your sanity, because we all do, there's nothing to question, just trust, right? Don't listen to the voice that's saying, oh, girl, you're crazy. Just quiet that voice and listen to the voice that's coming through with the love, with the loving vibration.
Can I just
That's the
add?
voice.
Yeah, what I would like to add to that, Lisa, is what I was taught by my guardian, my very first guardian, for 15 years. He had me sit for 30 minutes every day and just be quiet. Just be quiet. Just
I love
learn to,
that.
just sit. He said, just sit with your energy. If anything comes through, just imagine it's a little rat and it's just running past you, or a bird or
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that's how, so in the quietness of everything is a gentle voice that says, keep going, keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. Acknowledge it and let it go. And if it floats off, it's not the message. Yeah.
And it's about knowing your truth too, right? I think that's what everyone's shared a bit today, is knowing what
Yeah.
feels right and what doesn't. And I feel what you were trying to say, Lisa, was, does it resonate with your divine blueprint? Does it resonate with what's right for you?
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. And for me, I always encourage people to be curious. Be curious, ask questions. And if people can't give you answers, go searching, because it's that curiosity that's your soul leading you to the next answer. And the more we're curious, it's funny because we've been conditioned that curiosity kills the cat, where actually, no, Curiosity is what leads you to that next thing. But I would like to thank all the beautiful women here today, and thank you for sharing space and all the love and beautiful energy that was brought forward that moved me to tears. I did not expect that today, and I truly am grateful that was what came out of this space. And for anyone watching this, please check out these ladies' links below. They'll all be in the notes underneath, and you can go connect with them if you resonated or if you want to know more. I'll also put some really amazing books that you can look into to just start you on your journey to be curious about as well. And a big thank you to Sacred You, as always, for letting me hold this space and for letting me be connected. And until next time, stay curious and be open to whatever comes through. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.